If intelligence alone guaranteed success, the smartest people you know would be running the world. But they are not. Some of the most intelligent minds stay invisible, overlooked, frustrated, and stuck, while people with less raw ability move faster, gain influence, and shape outcomes. This video is not about becoming smarter. It is about understanding why intelligence fails without the right mental operating system, and how elite thinkers quietly dominate without appearing exceptional on the surface. If you have ever felt like you understand more than most people but still fall behind, stay with me, because this will reframe how you use your mind forever. For centuries, intelligence has been treated like a fixed trait. You are either born with it or you are not. But history tells a different story. The people who shape industries, lead movements, and control outcomes are rarely the most intelligent in the room. They are the most strategically conditioned. They do not think harder. They think differently. Their advantage is not knowledge. It is how their mind behaves under pressure, uncertainty, and social complexity. Most people train their minds for comfort. Elite thinkers train theirs for leverage. The original conversation around intelligence focuses on speed, sharpness, and power. This guide goes deeper. We're going to dismantle the biggest lie about intelligence, explain why most smart people self-sabotage, and then rebuild a system that turns thinking into influence, clarity, and control in real-life situations. This is not a motivational talk. It is a mental reprogramming. The first mistake intelligent people make is confusing comfort with competence. From school onward, intelligence is rewarded in predictable environments, clear rules, clear problems, clear answers. But the real world does not work that way. The moment uncertainty appears, most intelligent minds freeze. They overanalyze. They seek perfect information. They wait. Meanwhile, less intelligent but more conditioned minds move, adapt, and win. Elite thinkers intentionally place themselves in cognitive discomfort. Not stress for the sake of suffering, but controlled pressure that forces adaptation. When the brain senses safety, it conserves energy. When it senses risk, it reorganizes. New connections form, perception sharpens, awareness expands. This is not motivation. This is biology. The mind only upgrades when it must. High-level thinkers do not ask, "How can I avoid failure?" They ask, "How can I create environments that force growth?" They seek conversations where they are outmatched. They take responsibility before they feel ready. They operate where feedback is immediate and consequences are real. This is why they appear calm under pressure. Their nervous system has been trained there. The second reason intelligent people lose is their inability to anticipate. Intelligence without prediction is reaction. Reaction is weakness. Most people live one move behind reality, constantly responding to events instead of shaping them. Predictive thinking is not about guessing the future. It's about understanding patterns deeply enough that outcomes become obvious. Elite thinkers study behavior more than information. They notice rhythms, emotional triggers, repeated mistakes. Human nature does not change nearly as much as people think. Once you understand how fear, ego, and incentives drive behavior, you stop being surprised. Meetings, conflicts, negotiations, and even personal relationships become predictable. When you know what comes next, you stop reacting emotionally and start positioning strategically. This is where most people misunderstand intelligence. They think it's about knowing facts. In reality, it's about recognizing trajectories. Where is this situation heading if nothing changes? Who benefits from this decision? What pressure will force movement? Asking these questions repeatedly trains the mind to operate ahead of time. You stop being impressed by chaos. You see structure inside it. The third failure of intelligent minds is rigidity. Smart people fall in love with their own thinking. They identify with their ideas. When reality contradicts them, they defend instead of adapt. This is deadly. Mental agility is not about having many ideas. It is about letting go of them quickly. Elite thinkers treat strategies as tools, not identities. They pivot without emotional attachment. If a plan stops working, they drop it immediately, even if it once made them successful. This is why they appear confident. Their confidence is not in being right. It is in their ability to adjust faster than others. Training this requires deliberate exposure to instability, changing routines, arguing both sides of an issue, taking on projects with unclear outcomes. Not to be chaotic, but to teach the brain that uncertainty is survivable. Over time, flexibility replaces fear. While others panic when conditions change, you remain functional. Now we reach a critical shift. Intelligence alone does not create power. Power comes from how others experience you. This is where emotional intelligence becomes decisive. The smartest argument does not win if the room resists you. Influence is not logic. It is emotional alignment. Elite thinkers observe before they speak. They sense tension, hesitation, excitement. They adjust tone, pacing, and presence intuitively. This is not manipulation in the cartoon sense. It is awareness. People follow those who make them feel understood, safe, or inspired. Logic opens doors. Emotion determines whether you are invited in. Mastering emotional intelligence starts internally. You cannot read others if your own emotions control you. High-level thinkers regulate their internal state first. They do not eliminate emotion. They harness it. Calm becomes a signal of authority. Silence becomes pressure. Controlled intensity becomes presence. When you manage your internal environment, you influence the external one naturally. At this level, intelligence becomes invisible. People do not say, "You are smart." They say, "I trust you," or "You seem to know what you are doing," or "I feel confident following you." That is real leverage. Another overlooked advantage of elite thinkers is their relationship with time. Most people rush decisions to relieve discomfort. They want closure. They want certainty. They want emotional relief. This leads to poor choices. Strategic thinkers delay not out of fear, but out of discipline. They allow experiences to settle. They reflect after both success and failure. The brain does its most powerful work when attention relaxes. Patterns surface. Insights emerge. What felt complex becomes obvious. This is why some people always seem to have clarity after the fact. They gave their mind space to process. By intentionally slowing the decision cycle, you move from reactive to deliberate. You stop chasing urgency and start shaping outcomes. This single habit alone separates impulsive intelligence from strategic intelligence. When these elements combine, something changes fundamentally. You stop trying to prove intelligence. You start embodying it. Your presence becomes composed. Your decisions become cleaner. Your reactions become rare. You no longer need to dominate conversations because your timing carries weight. This is the ultimate shift. Intelligence stops being something you perform and becomes something you project. People adjust around you. Situations simplify. Complexity feels manageable, not because life becomes easier, but because your internal operating system is no longer fragile. Most people spend their lives collecting information. Elite thinkers build conditioning. They train how their mind behaves under stress, uncertainty, and social pressure. That is the real advantage. If you take nothing else from this video, remember this: intelligence is not what you know. It is how you respond when the environment stops cooperating. Train for that, and you will outperform people who are smarter than you on paper for the rest of your life. This is not a call to hustle harder or think faster. It is an invitation to rebuild how you think entirely. Start small. Introduce controlled discomfort. Observe patterns. Release attachment to being right. Regulate your emotional state. Slow down decisions that matter. Over time, you will notice something unsettling. Situations that overwhelm others barely register for you. That is when you know the shift has happened. At that point, you are no longer chasing advantage. You are operating from it.